Welcome to the another episode of Analytic Insight podcast, where we talk to the influential leaders about their success stories, challenges, and learn about their company's solution and most importantly, the proposition and how they add a great value to their customer and clients. I'm your host, Passi Dharmendar, Sales Manager of Analytic Insight, and today our guest is Aleta Jeffress, Vice President Consulting Services at CGI. CGI, founded in 1976, and it is one of the largest IT and business consulting services firm in the world. It is insight-driven, outcomes-based company helping to accelerate return on investment across 21 industries in 400 locations worldwide. It provides comprehensive, scalable, and sustainable IT and business consulting services that inform globally and delivered locally. It has also received various recognitions and awards from elite media such as Brand Finance Canada, Forbes, Research Info Sources, Thomas Router, Washington Technology, and many more. So here I welcome Aleta Jeffress. Hey Aleta, thanks for joining.
Well, thank you for having me. I look forward to it.
Well, Aleta, we are very excited to have you for this podcast, and I'm certain listeners are interested to learn about CGI, its unique proposition, and about you. So to get started, kindly brief us about CGI, its services, and how it is contributing to the industry and benefiting its customer.
Absolutely. Well, as you mentioned, CGI was founded in 1976 and is one of the largest independent IT and consulting firms in the world. We have about 77,000 consultants and other professionals, again, worldwide across the globe. And we are able to deliver an end-to-end portfolio of capabilities. And that includes anything from strategic IT and business consulting to areas such as systems integration, business process services, and even intellectual property solutions. So what we like to do is work with clients through what we call a local relationship model. So we have local presence, but then we also have a global delivery network behind it. And this really helps clients digitally transform their organizations as well as accelerate their business results. So many of our customers now are digitally transforming, and automation strategies are one of the things that can really drive those efficiencies, including cost savings and synergies. So, ultimately we work with the IT and the business to identify processes for automation and discovering opportunities for increasing customer satisfaction, helping them with time to market, and making sure they have good ROI.
All right, yeah, that's great to know about CGI. Providing many services, and it is benefiting different industries as well as customer in a different way. Well, moving ahead, brief us about your proactive role and your contribution towards the company and industry during the pandemic. I know you have started your journey during the pandemic in CGI. So
I did. I actually started at CGI in March of 2020. So I like to say that I started about the same time as the pandemic. But it's an interesting time to start a new role for sure. But currently I'm the Senior Vice President of Consulting Services. And so what that means is that I manage business development, operations, and delivery for one of CGI's metros, which is the Denver, Colorado metro. Mm-hmm. And that consists also of multiple states within our Midwest business unit. And so my personal background and experience, I've done a lot of work in the public sector for both federal, state, and local government. And I've had executive roles such as the Chief Information Officer for the Indiana Department of Revenue, as well as the Chief Information and Strategy Officer for the City of Aurora in Colorado. And so prior to my public sector roles, I also worked in multiple startup software companies in several different services and industries, and at one point was the Vice President of Software Development.
Yes, that's great and admirable. Especially you mentioned that you have, started your journey in a different organization, and you
Mhm.
do have an experience, contributing to a startup. So that's wonderful. Moving to the next question, what makes a company innovative, and what are the key partnerships and involvement done to drive the innovation?
Well, at CGI, innovation is a continuous process. It's something that we're always looking at, always evaluating. One of our goals is really to make sure that we can innovate in a way that's structured so that we can also gain maximum value. And that's something that we pass on to our clients, right? That structure and some of those innovative ideas. So when we help clients implement innovation, it's really in a targeted, structured, and strategic manner because we want to make sure that we can harness their ideas. We want to be able to monetize creative ideas from within their organizations. And then helping implement our end-to-end innovation service suite helps them build a certain a consolidated management process. So,
Hmm.
we offer that up to our clients, and then internally, employees at CGI can also drive a lot of cultural change through organizational design, operations transformation, and in their own metro design and innovation studios.
Absolutely. So yeah, absolutely, I agree. And these are the few attributes which a company has to come out with, and it enables in driving innovation and makes the company more competitive in the industry. So moving ahead, according to you, how are the disruptive technology, like artificial intelligence, big data, cloud, intelligence automation, impacting today's innovation, and how has the role of leader has changed over the year?
Well, I think, these all of these technologies that are out there, right? AI, big data, cloud, these are all tools that are really used to enable digital transformation and help us deliver practical innovation. So even though there's a lot of ideas and employees and even consumers, they come up with all of these things that they'd like to see, which is great, but you still have to have a way to deliver that and a way to bring it to life. So I do think that these types of technologies transform the way that organizations can do business. It helps them create, obviously, helps them deliver services. Many times they're interacting with their customers and citizens. So it also helps the employees make sure they work on higher value activities because the more you can automate, your employees who have a lot of internal knowledge and know their customers, right? It makes them more valuable and allows them to work on some things that bring more value to your customer, where some of the day-to-day work is the areas that can be automated. So CGI really helps clients focus and accelerate this type of digital transformation
Mhm.
because our focus, as well as theirs, right, is always to improve the customer experience, make sure that you have operational efficiency, and do this through the deployment of things like intelligent automation, cloud services, and AI.
Great. So so moving ahead, so kindly share your point of view on current scenario of IT and business consulting industry, and how do you see industry moving ahead in the future?
Sure. Well, I think that, the past year has really, or 18 months has really taught us quite a bit about,
Absolutely. Yes.
right, as business process and what works and what, more importantly, we found
Yes.
out what doesn't work and really had to address that. So, I think especially when we're looking at automation and AI, there is much more to come. We've kind of gotten over this first hurdle or maybe two hurdles or maybe even three hurdles for some companies, but as you look at business process and what the market is driving, what customers and consumers are driving toward, there's a lot more business process that's going to continue to evolve. And so at that point, automation, although maybe somebody would have considered it in the past, it's going to become a must-have in order to provide services and be able to compete in many markets. I mean, we see this all the time. So not only will the process change and automation will be a key part of those companies being able to move forward, But it also means that the technology roles around supporting all of that automation and some of those automation solutions will also become more important and grow in demand. And, we've seen just throughout the past year, again, just some of the talent, how talent has shifted and how resources have shifted. And I think that will happen again in response to the evolution of automation.
Yes, absolutely. And everything has now structured. Previously we were going to the office and then we were working, but now everything, people are working from home, and in terms of infrastructure and in terms of automation solution providers, they are providing a different services, and it is helping most of the organization all around the world. So I think you must have faced the same scenario while working, because I think because you handle most of the, you have a great team. So what was your experience while handling um, you know uh, headcounts from different parts of the country in this pandemic?
Mhm. Well, I think, even having started when I did, I think it was really a shift and really a reality check on how you do business
Hmm.
and what does it really take to get the job done, right? So making sure that you still interacted pretty frequently with all of your existing employees and team members, making sure that everybody was able to do what they needed to do, and yet you were able to kind of meet them where they're at, because they all had different challenges. And so, those people who had kids in school, or maybe, other responsibilities just because they were at home, really being flexible with them. And then I think too, making sure that, some of the key points of managing people didn't change,
Hmm.
still being able to give people opportunities to do different things. If they've done their current job for a while and maybe they wanted to branch out into something new, making sure that we could offer training and upskilling whenever it was needed. CGI internally made some changes even to their learning platform to allow people to do that. So again, kind of adapting to what's going on in the market and in the world, with the pandemic and whatnot, and really trickling that all the way back down to your team members so that they can respond and they can be fulfilled as well.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree with your point. And, CGI as a organization, it's doing a wonderful job by upscaling uh, to the employees, and, by providing all the skills and uh, whatever the competencies they require in order to perform any job. So that's wonderful. And other organizations, they are also doing the same thing.
Mhm.
So this was the last question, and you have answered all the question very well, and I'm certain listener must have learned something valuable today to this interview, and we are looking forward to talking to you with you in the future. So thanks for your time, and